All right, I'm buying because huge buys right here. So probably kind of retest the 50 and then go up. This right now moment is a, continuation pattern. Yeah, up flag, probably feel and retest this right here. So you can see I'm light because I don't know when this drop will end, whether it stops here, goes all the way 100%. So here could be the 2x fractal, and then that might be the oh, here scalp. So there it is, and then take some profit here. Oh, didn't take. All right, so watching for now is if it passes this 50%, rejects this, then we're going up. It just comes up in wicks, and then probably continue to drop. But basically, you can see the body is rejecting on the 5. It's early though, 2 minutes. See wicks on the top. So I want to be light in buys in case it goes all the way, rejects. And then I want to flip because even if I take a small loss, the point is I don't want to be in buys the entire time like this. I only want to cut my buys right here so that I can ride the way down here. That makes sense. Basically, I want to cut right around here and then sell off to here or to here and then try buys again. But so far, this is a good candle with 1 minute left. Um, Basically, doing a flag continuation. What I'm watching for is the hour here. You can see this is a huge slow drop, fast, which should be a W. All right, so right now rejecting, so I don't want to add it here. What I'm looking for is right here to add. It could sell down as far as some scalps, but um, don't want to at the moment. I'm just playing one direction, which is buys. And usually, this probably is a buy off candle. That hey, look, deeper pressure, you know, go up. We're on the upper range where the Bollinger here for the hour, upper, upper. So I don't want to be in sales at all. Just want to be looking for recycling buys and this candle right here. I'm looking for rejection to add. So this would be a build right here because we don't know that this is down like this too early. But you can see on the 5, it's forming a good because this one's a doji, and then this one's basically saying sales stop. But it's early. We got 3 more minutes. And as far as where the hour right here, you can see this last pivot right here, and it's also the 0.5% change. So this right here is an easy target, and it's also the halfway point. Because if you look here, 149.5. So with UJ, the 0.5s and the full whole numbers are usually your um, like your major. See here, these are the major areas that are hard to break. So 0.5 and then the whole numbers. All right, so with this, looks like a continuation, so I'm going to add to it. So added some, and still light in case it drops. All right, with that, now I'm going to add heavier. This is the build. And, you see, should have been easy target right there with this right there, top of the Bollinger, and then and body wise, right? So here I want to peel off some, make sure I bank some of the money, especially the heavier ones. And it wicked down. Okay, so recycle here. And if it does go against me, it's like, well, look, either you cut or you reposition, right? So, because if I'm heavy, 15 lots right here, this kind of drawdown is too big. So, go in my favor right here. So the point here now, like I said, trying to get some at least 2 pips right here. So 20 points before I kind of TP some. Not great. So right now I'm a little too heavy, being that this is 15, and that's heavy, right? Because this account, um, you know, basically 30, max 30. So right now this is beginning to reject, which is not good. Okay, and basically you can see small loss. So it's like, well, I didn't do the momentum like like AW, and we don't know that this is gonna close down yet. But the moment it closes like a full body, um, I want to cut small loss.
If it breaks down, it's going to be a ride the wave a little bit, huh? And if it breaks
Well,
up, it's
this
probably
is
going
not a
to.
great candle. So usually what that does is it brings in sellers, at least to like right here, or sometimes even all the way to here, and then you might see it go back up. Okay. So the point is, if I'm heavy here, 15 lots, I can't survive to here because then that's minus like 1 or 2, and then -5 down here. Makes sense? So here I'm only minus a quarter. You want to cut smaller. Does make sense? So the
Yeah.
point here is I loaded the build prematurely because this should have TP like reached to here, but you can see a gap. It missed, so it didn't um, do it as planned, but it's still a higher low. So right here, even though closed right at the body, it's still high low. So that the next candle could reject and come up, and you can see it in 1 minute. This has not rejected. The body is still higher. Does it make sense? This is not a rejection candle, and wicks on the bottom like this. It's a good sign to just hold and withstand the drawdown. But the moment this starts continuing, like drop right here. So this is 50%, right? If this drops next, then I want to cut at small loss because then I can reposition it. But at the moment, this is saying, hey, look, the retest is failing. You see, with 1 second less, this is just a retest. And so now the next candle should continue up right here. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to add to my buys as a momentum that the next candle should do your 2x and reach to this right here. Because this right here is a fractal. Does that make sense?
It does. But I didn't see that because what I was seeing was this downward move in this range right here, here to here, and we're
Well,
just in the range.
you have to kind of look at the whole picture, and you can see it went up is buying pressure. So what you should see in the next 5-10 minutes is reaching up to here. Just watch. Because of this 5-minute structure right here. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And so what I'm trying to show you guys here is how to recognize price action. And this is what David talks about. Hey, the 1 minute is your entries and exits, right? But your structure wise is an hour, 15 and then 5.
Yeah, now looking at the hour, like that was a very strong candle, and we had lots of strong green candles and an upward trend, and this whole area here,
Right.
right? And it
Wicked
probably
up to
wants to go up
here.
into.
Um, you see this, the moment it hit this, what happened? It bounced, right? Because that's the action point. So point is, it should though reach all the way to here because that is your 2x fractal.
Yeah, and I can see that pretty
If
clearly
you
here. It
want
it
to
looks like it
reduce
can.
risk, what you can do is like right here, I can start peeling off some of these. Does it make sense? But based on how I've seen market behavior, I'm just going to hold for max profit. So I'm taking a higher risk by holding these to here. And it should, and it is playing out. You see that? Now the one is starting to hug the Bollinger. It's still hugging the 5, still hugging the 15. It's it should reach up to right in this area.
Well, let me ask you something. Is another way to look at this the fact that in this area here we had more upward okay, so if this was a break, this was a I know this is gonna this I don't know what I'm trying to say. It looks more up than down inside there is what I'm trying to say. There's more break of structures up. I mean, there's only really one break of structure down, which was here.
Well,
Um,
this right here, this move was your last attempt. Okay, but remember, you have to look at the context of things. That this is 3 minutes, and this right here is 5 minutes. Make sense? So when this right here, it was a reach up with a wick on top, right? So then
yeah.
1, 2, 3 candles tries to reject. You see that?
Hmm.
But what happened? This body did not reject. You see how this one only doji with wicks on the bottom? And what
Hmm.
happened is this next candle almost matched the body. And in the next candle, what happened? It retest and it couldn't pass the 50%. So
Mm.
that's how you can tell structure wise and catch these moves. So like right here, you can see I'm almost 1%. And in my Darwin right now, I'm up 2%. Okay. So it's just because I play price actions and I can catch, you know, moves like this. So right here, once this comes up, 0, 1, I'm going to TP because this is max profit. Does it make sense? So right here, you see I have my TPs, and then I'm going to just take it here, especially the heavier ones. So I'm going to peel off my heavy trades, and I'm going to leave my light ones to run. And this is what I talk about. I taper my profit.
It's like the opposite of adding of building, isn't it? And I hear two schools of thought, right? One is take multiple TPs along the way. The other one is build as it goes in your favor. How do we bridge those two, and why would we pick one over the other?
give me a second. I'm managing my trades.
Okay.
I'll answer in a bit.
I think I'm gonna sell signals, the opposite of my trades, and people should pay a lot for that
All
because
right. So what
they'll
I did
win.
is I basically took my profits off the table. Okay, and you can see these right here are now secure trades.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so there's two train of thoughts. Yes, you can. Um, so let's just recap. As a counter trend trader, right? You fade, okay, and you basically get heaviest here. Makes sense.
Mm,
So you're fading like this, okay,
okay.
and sorry, I'm doing a trailing stop at the moment. So as it keeps going up, I just move my stop loss closer. Okay, basically secure more profits because let's say the moment it rejects this candle, it's coming down again. Okay.
Mm,
Anyways, but you can see I got pretty much 1% very very easily with very little risk. Why? Because I don't fade um, like the way you guys fade. Okay. Sorry, I'm just managing my trades. So here, basically putting it right below this body. Okay. Um, so it should knock me out max profit kind of thing and um, close to goal. Okay, so the first thing is first I looked at the hour. So this to me is your direction. So this is now I know it's going to pull back. I could have sold right here. So basically from this to here, I could have as a counter trend trader, I would have sold. Let me change color. As a counter trend trader, I would have sold like this. This
yeah.
pullback. So this is a CT trader. Okay.
Hmm.
Now with the wave trader, I was fading like this. So this is a fade, but it's with the wave. So fading is not necessarily a counter trend trader, okay, but it's counter of the move, meaning I fade lightly. So I'm gonna fade here, and then I'm gonna fade right here. Does it make sense?
It's a
But as
building
a,
into the position through a fade. I got
huh?
it. You're building with a fade.
Yeah,
You're not countering with a fade. You're building with a fade.
you can say that.
It's a different mindset.
Right. And then where I was adding was right in here. So I'm gonna put my trade top. Oops. You see here, this is where I added. So these two areas right here are ads or builds. And what that is with confirmation. Okay.
But you were using the 5 minute mostly to,
Yes, I'm using the 5 minute. I'm using the 1 minute. So I watched the 5 minute very closely, but I can tell it based on the 1 minute. So right in here, uh, this is at risk of failure. Does it make sense?
uh-huh.
So when you are fading, like a lot of you guys are adding right here. That to me is stupid because it's risky. Does it make sense? Because this is a 1, 2, 3. If this was adding right here, that's fine. But adding right here is a risk. So you're adding to drawdown by adding willy-nilly because you don't know your timings. Okay? Because if this had failed right there, then it would have gone to 2x right here. And adding right here would have been part of your fade. Does that make sense? So the way you can fade is you can fade lightly right here, and then you can basically right here. So don't add in the middle. Does that make sense? So if
I
you're
just,
down
I do that.
partially,
I don't see that there was any confirmation when you added that trade or this one, but it was on the way up, but it hadn't closed. I don't see any confirmation on these trades.
this one was early. This was an ad. This one was a better one.
Yeah, that one I could see because you did break. You did you did close
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. And so right now, what I'm looking for is, uh, does this stay above here or is it going to build me again up here? So if I'm going to build again, I'm going to build like this. I'm going to fade like this right here. And maybe I'm going to cut right here. Does that make sense? Because the moment this goes down, you got your 0, 1, 2 kind of thing, it's going to fail. Does it make sense? So what I'm looking for right now is, hey, look, this candle is a rejection candle to come to here. So this is where I would start my fade. Makes sense? To build again, because at the moment, this is not a great candle on the 5 minute. It's saying, hey, look, I'm into my wave at 40. It's a rejection. If anything, I should actually be selling. Okay. Because it could come all the way to here, to here. Make sense? So really, I can sell short term right here. And if I'm going to sell, I also have to know the context is, hey, look, we just came for a buy that it might continue all the way up. So I am going to sell like this and cut. Is this making sense?
Oh, you got into a sell. Now you're countering.
So yeah, so what I'm saying is this wave, it should be over that based on this 5 minute. You see this? This is a sell-off pattern, and it did come to here. But what I think it's gonna do is come to here. Okay, so I'm gonna go wait for a pullback and add as an Elliott wave down to this area.
Man, that's not fair. Bring in an Elliott wave. Now I gotta figure out what
It's
you
also
mean
the
by
top of
that.
the hour. You see that?
Now you gotta explain Elliott wave.
Elliott wave says your pullback does not come in one, but it comes like a lightning into like
Okay.
this says it's gonna come
But I remember
out.
Elliott wave a little. It's like it's supposed to be like A, B, C, D or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I
So
don't
in
I
this
don't
case,
fully
I'm
understand it.
selling off, but you can see the body. This is a retest, but it's early. So if this body starts closing above, you know what? We might actually continue the wave. Does that make sense? Like, look at that. See major. So here I'm going to add the last of it. And with this right here, I'm going to continue it because you see how this is 40? It's basically reaching for 50.
Oh, so you're going in on this sell. You're not changing your mind on it.
Well, I'm I have my sell, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna cut my sell. Okay. I don't want to hold the cells too long. Now it could work out in the next 15 minutes. Okay. But you can see it broke above this again. So what I'm playing right now is a right away. So rather just cut the cells and flip the buys and
Yeah,
say,
okay.
hey, there's room.
I feel like you com how do I say it? You commit to a direction and but you're ready to switch in a heartbeat. It's like you're semi-committed and it's because by doing that, by giving that kind of commitment, you're able to cash this kind of move. And just like here, you were kind of committed to sells, but you were ready to jump. And now I would say I don't know, this word commitment is making sense. You it's almost like you change your mind quick, but you commit to a direction and therefore you give yourself the ability to, if you're right, it's almost like you're 50-50, but the way that you're playing it, if you're wrong, you cut it quick, but if you're right, you kind of build into it to max
Yes.
profit, right?
Yes. That's the whole point here is that you guys are going to be wrong in trading. Does it make sense? You're never going to be right all 100% of the time. So if I want to be wrong, I want to be quick and light. Does that make sense?
And once you get confirmation, you start adding in as it moves in your favor.
Okay, so right here, I'm adding to my buys heavier, and I'm gonna do some scalps right here because this should now give me a 2x. So it's breaking out. It should reach right here, make sense, for a 2x. And I can at least get me a quick scalps that basically medium, light, medium, and then this right here is just heavy. Okay, I want to get out quicker. I don't want to hold heavy right in here because I don't know if this is the end of the wave. I mean, this candle right here was a big candle. And if you look like a big candle like this, what happened? It usually comes back, right? Which it did right here, came back, you see. But what I'm counting on, hoping, is the nighttime drift that here is the top of the hour and it's going to 30 minutes just go up in one direction. Does it make sense? So I don't
Mm,
want to keep holding up until here. I want to start peeling off my profits time wise. Is
mm.
it making sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. But once it starts coming to the middle, again, I want to start reducing my position size. And so right in this area, in the halfway and in the 3/4 way, I want to take my profits. And the
Okay.
whole point here is that anytime I have the direction, I'm going to be heavier. Okay. Anytime I'm countering, I'm going to be lighter. Okay. So right here in cells, I'm light. And then I want to be heaviest in buys right here. And then you can see right now when I flipped, I'm super heavy in buys. Is this making sense? So you want to
Yeah.
pick the direction, especially when you get it right. But you have to also know where max profit is, which right now, this here could be max profit, or it could be right here,
Okay.
or it could be right here.
So it's kind of like okay, so let's say I pick a direction. It doesn't matter. If if I'm right, I'm planning to build into and exit at max profit. If I'm wrong, I know where my wrong point is. And at
Yes.
that point, I cut and flip.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can
So,
see right now what is played out, a 2x fractal. Okay, so what we're looking for is 2x of this move from here to here. So you can see this drop was what, 16? So I'm looking from this breakout 16, and we're right at it, 13, 16. And so you can see I'm starting to peel off my profits. So I already peeled off a bunch because I was at 15. Now I'm at 6. And then you can see it's some TPs here as well. So it's almost taking, so I'm letting it continue up and take. If not, I'll manually peel them off. Okay. But like I said, I want to peel them off right in the middle and in the 3/4.
mm,
Because why? It's a timing thing. Okay. And that gives me a chance to recycle that. Hey, look, if it does continue, well, I can always add back. Does it make sense? But the further it goes out, I'm going to add lighter, lighter. So like here, I was 15 here only because it was early in the 30-minute mark, right? I added 15, but really I don't want to be more than 5 lots. Make sense? I want to be able to survive because if I add 5 lots up here and it comes back, I'm giving quite a bit of my chunk of profit. Is
mm.
it making sense? And right there, you can see it's almost taking, but it's freaking hell, it's so too close. So I'm just gonna manual peel like this. And there it took it right there. See? So you can see now I'm back to 1 point something. So what I want to do at this point is I want to let it continue, but I can secure my trades. Make sense? So this is a little too close. But see, now I have no risk, absolutely no risk, and I'm over my goal.
Mm.
So this is what is pretty easy and fun with trading, is when you catch things correctly, enter and timing wise, and you know, position wise, it goal is very, very easy. Okay. But when you misread the market, timing bad, um, then like I said, you got to be light in drawdown. So right there, about to be knocked out, and it's perfectly fine. If it continues, then I'll just make more profit. If not, I already got the bulk of my profits.
Mm.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, you had a good target. Um, I mean, a target range at least,
Yeah.
with that long hour candle, that action point you're approaching right now, or key price KPI, um, a
Right.
2x move on the 1 minute, an uptrend on every time frame. Of course, jumping in along now would not be a good time to do it. If you were to get in the market now, you'd want to wait for a pullback. And you kind of see where that pullback's going to end
And
up.
then you see it knocked out. Okay. And now this is early, but basically, if this 5 minutes starts rejecting, at least should pull back to here, right? Or to here. Make sense?
Mhm.
But this being the pivot might be max profit. So I don't want to be in buys or sells. I want to just watch the market because honestly, if this um, starts ranging and then right here, I would buy. Okay, but sometimes with a 30-minute mark, it can pull back pretty big, being that it comes all the way back to the daily open.
Mm.
Okay, so at the moment, I don't want to enter. Does it make sense? Because why? I have my goal. So this is where you want to stay out. So this is a 50-50 area, and this is a possible pullback. So why am I going to keep adding? Makes sense? Because right here is also your supply zone. If you look in the hour, we just reached the tip of it. Okay, so you can say this is one massive zone. Okay, or you can say the zone is here, the body. So basically, you can continue up, or you can say it's up here with this pivot. You can see multiple pivots, right? You know, pivots, 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 pivots. You see, or you can say this is your zone. So you can draw it however you want. The point is, you don't know if the market is going to go to here or is going to go to here or what, right? Plan A, plan B. You have to manage your risk. Does that make sense? So in this case, what I'm seeing at the moment is this is a continuation. Okay. But if I'm going to continue to buy, I'm going to do like this. Light. Make sense? Because what I'm seeing right here is that this is the half mark. It might continue for into the 3/4 mark. See, reaching for the top right here.
Yeah.
But if I was to play heavy right there, that's risky. Does it make sense?
Because it's a third price cycle.
Because it's a 2x fractal from here to here. And see,
Mm.
it just whipped down. Take this off right here, since it's not taking. And now I'm just gonna wait and saying, okay, well look, I got a little bit more. It was 0.23, now 0.25. Okay. But this is where now, look, this we're at the top of the channel. Make sense? So if anything, I could start selling. But if I'm going to sell right here, I might be early in that I have 10 more minutes that it continues against me. Okay. And the 30 minutes, what I'm counting on is that it pulls back. But if it does not, then it could be I have 40 minutes and it goes against me. So I don't want to do that. What I want to do is saying, okay, I think this is the end of the wave. So I'm going to start my sales like that. I'm going to put one trade on. And now this is a counter trend because what I'm playing is this is 48. It typically tapers out at 50. Okay. And if it continues against me, I'm looking for the 2x. I'm looking for at least 5 pips before I add. And I'm looking for spacing out in time. Does that make sense? See, it's working, but it's early. It's early. You could just wick and continue up. So what I'm showing you now is a counter trend trader, but you have to be light. And so this is why David says, hey, 0.25 goal. As a counter trend trader, you want to be lighter. With the wave trader, you can be heavier because it will go in your favor, uh, higher probability. Is this making sense?
Yeah, I mean it's trending. It's a trending market. It makes sense when it does this, while it does this. If it were to cross here, it's easy when you draw it with lines. It gets harder when the candles, because you know it loves to do that fake. It loves to say, "Hey, I'm gonna go down," and then nope, I'm not, and then this time I'm gonna do it. It loves to do that.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's the point is you've got to manage your risk. This makes sense. So plan out your trades and how it goes against you uh, and, and manage it so that you're never in such bad drawdown, right? That you're gonna like risk out or give back all your profits, etc. You know, it's
yeah.
here, even if it goes against me, well, again, I'm risking profits that I'm willing to risk, let's say 0.25 of my profits. So I'll make a 1/4%, right? In the sense that I'll grow it from 1.25 to 1.5. Okay.
Mhm.
But I'm not gonna risk 1%. Make sense? And you can see how it kind of starts tapering out in time. So 2, 3 minutes. So now I'm gonna add a little bit heavier the cells based on timing. It's not continuing. Now it's reaching what? Look, the taper. And it's reaching the point where was already expecting it to uh, come back a little bit. Okay, and if this is the price cycle, it should come back at least at that 6, 7 points to give me 5 pips right here. And halfway, 50% should give me right there. Retest of that breakout. Make sense?
Mhm.
And so all of my TPs are easy. Even if it does go against me, well, again, I know how much I'm going to risk, and I also know time wise how far I'm going to risk, which is 5, 6 minutes, and then the first five, so basically 10 minutes. So I have 10 minutes for my trade to play out within a basically a 10 to 15 pips range. Okay, and if it continues to go against me, I cut. And if I didn't do it that well, then maybe I cut a little bit more profit. So instead of a 1/4%, I lost 0.5%. Is this making sense?
Um,
But the point is, I want to end in profit. I'm trying to show you guys all forms of trading here, not just with the wave versus counter trend, but I'm trying to show you more importantly is risk management, because that's what you're gonna have to learn. And so you can see right now it's still going against me. I'm not going to add right here. Why? Because this is the rejection. So I'm going to wait for this area 2x to add. Does it make sense? I'm going to wait for this area here before adding.
You went for the breakout.
Yeah, because as it reaches up, could be exhaustion bar because look, we're at 55, so it basically reaches 60. And ADX wise, 40, 50, 60, 70. Those are your like the end of the waves, and then it starts dropping. Does it make sense? So right here, I don't need to add, but you can see I'm already almost a dime. And then look at that, it starts to reject on a 1 minute. See, but it's early. It's 18 seconds early. Um, if this rejects right here, then I would add, but it's not. See, wicked. I think my family wants to do birthday cake for my basically the kid's grandma. So I might end the session early today. Basically, I'm gonna finish this set of trades. So you can see it's now doing that 2x, right? From this body, it's reaching to here. So right there, then I would add, but I'm gonna add light. Remember, overall, I'm light. I'm 7 lots, kind of medium, because remember, 15 is heavy, 30 is max. Um, so 7 is medium, and then light would be like 3. Okay, and this is based on a 1 to 30 leverage. And time wise, it's almost there. I've got 2 more minutes for the 30. Okay, this started without me.
Well, you better go, man.
That's okay.
You got 1%. That's good. All right, so with that right there, now I'm going to add, and then I'm pushing medium. So break even is decent, but what I'm expecting is pull back to here. Okay. Mhm.
So the closer we get to the 30, not great that it continues, right? But again, even like I said, I know how much I'm risking, and if it continues to in the next 5 minutes doesn't play out, then just cut. See, now I'm a little bit over. So I'm gonna add is the last minute as this is a exhaustion bar. And again, if it doesn't play out in the next 5 minutes, 1, 2 minutes, then I cut. But now the ADX is 60. that it should give me this bigger pullback. Sense? And if it doesn't, like I said, you lost. It's like, and that's part of trading. That's part of hey, look, I made money here, made money, and then I gave money. And it's, the reason I say gave money instead of lose money is because it just has a different context. Like when you give, you feel positive feelings, but when you lose, you feel negative. It's the same direction, which is out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, I'm giving someone money, but or am I? Now I'm getting money. See right here in 1 minute, this is a rejection candle. See, just closed. Body just closed right at it. So the next candle should drop. And I would basically get money. See?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I'm playing for is, like I said, it should. This thing's, it wicked. See, it wicked, but it should give a bigger pullback because this is your counter trend. This is your price cycle. You see how this here is one price cycle, and oops, you draw this. See this? This is your 2. You see that? This is your 2x. So it should give you 50, which is a 25% fib. So if you fib it, right, it should pull back to not just here, but here, the 23.
Mm.
Okay, which is also your bottom Bollinger here. And that's why my break even is in the middle, and I didn't add more because I would be too heavy. But I'm saying, hey, based on what I want to risk, this is decent and this max profit right here. Okay. Now it could continue down, like 50 here, but the point is this is easy profit. Makes sense? Easy target. Oops. And you can see it's playing out. Because look, this doji continuation, and this is a drop. But it's early, but it should. You can see that now. Look, it's reaching below. See, it wicked. But the point is that there's a sell-off here. See? And this is what I was talking about. 30-minute mark has a pullback, and then if it breaks the shelf, then it's just a range, and then once it breaks up again, then it continues because on the ADX wise, what happens is this was at 60, comes back, and then continues up. Okay. But anyways, you can see here now this closed full body, so it should continue to drop.
For 2x.
Right, but it like it might wick here, but the point is I want to be quick and take it. And basically this should be, like I said, a 1-to-1 being like I risk 0.25, which is 0.25 here, and then I make 1.5 total
Mm.
make. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's doji should continue. You can see wicks right here, action body, but it should continue. Hopefully you guys are understanding things better, can start to read the price action and predict the waves and moves. And especially when
Well,
things don't play out the way you expected.
yeah, I think planning when it doesn't go your way. It's almost, I mean, again, my session with David was good talking about max profit. Um, and for a while I had to kind of pull away because I'm kind of adding what you're teaching to what I'm understanding from him. But now I'm somehow he's making more sense again. So it's because I was getting real messy.
David?
Yeah, like it stopped making sense to me for a while, and then after listening to you for a while, going back to him, he makes a little more sense again. Um, I think like slowly clarity is coming from looking at it from many different angles.
Well, I'm getting better at explaining things too. And kind of like drawing the context of where things differ versus where what David teaches.
Yeah, because it's the planning if it doesn't go in your favor, and planning if it does, like there's my two problems. My problems wasn't entries. It's when it goes in my favor, what do I do? When it goes against me, what do I do?
All right, see playing out. So now you can see slightly break even. Needs to reach down a little bit more. Um, basically here. And should, you can see body. You see that body below and right at it. So again, should do the fractal. Like if this is the 1x, 2x. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. The 2x concept has been helping to look at things through that lens. Um, how the extreme isn't always max profit, but the up here, things like that.
All right, bam, there it is. And so now I'm gonna close all. I mean, look at that. See that? 1.49. So close, man. I basically said 1.5, but new to commission and blah blah blah, whatever. But anyways, I'm gonna end this session early this night just because family event. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of it, even though it's a quick 1 hour. Any takeaways you guys want to summarize?
Mm. Build when it's going in your favor. Build when you can see that it's moving your direction. And cut cut quick when it says that it's not. You're you're not fading that much. I mean, that's a really good, yeah, that history there is really clean.
I'm gonna screenshot, post, and then be done. All right. With that, good luck with the trading. Hopefully you followed along and made the same or similar profits. You should at least be a 1/4%. If you're not, then I don't know. I
Well, I didn't trade with you today. I wanted to focus my attention. Um,
Mhm.
but I think
Maybe I should follow along and trade your trades because that's what I'm doing with David, and I think it's really helpful actually because I wasn't doing that before, and now that I'm starting to, um, I was always arguing with him too in my head. I was like, David's wrong. I mean, yeah, I can't believe it. I was like, David's wrong. I know and I was never right. Like,
All right. Well, you'll learn when to follow and when to argue, you know. It's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's okay to have difference of opinions. It's just you gotta learn where things are,
Yeah, following
uh,
the logic though, I think that's the point, you know. There's a logic to the reason you guys are both making your decisions and hearing you say it instead of arguing with it, just listen to it. There's a logic there, and it's from experience, you know.
mhm. All right. Now take care, guys.
Okay, thanks.